Hi world, it's Jengwin. This was not in my plans um at all for this episode. I'm going to I'm going to make the first part of this episode what it was intended to be, which is happy new year and an update. Just so much to update, and I have tried recording this episode so many times and things just keep being deleted. I have just been so discouraged with like getting banned on my live streams on TikTok. I don't even know if I've mentioned any of that on here. Um I'm literally all over the place. I'm in New Mexico right now. And well, you heard in the beginning of the episode why I'm here in New Mexico. And so I just got off of gaming with some friends and surprise, my boyfriend, um, and started painting the bathroom at this project that I'm working at. I don't even know what time it is right now. It's 1 o'clock. It's 1:25 in New Mexico, which means it's 3:25 my normal time. It's the middle of the night. Of course, this always happens to me in the middle of the night. But where do I begin? So, as I may have mentioned on here many times, while I do projects, especially I do my best work at night, I don't like feeling lonely. I like body doubling. I was on Discord all day with friends, and they're either gaming or just on their phones or watching a football game, and I'm painting. We all have our webcams on, and we just kind of sit there and we don't really always talk to each other. But I don't like feeling alone, and when it's the middle of the night, I have so much energy and I have so much creativity, but nobody's awake, so I listen to podcasts and watch YouTube videos. I'm already getting emotional. I shouldn't have done it. Um, I was in the middle of catching up with Exo McKenna's podcast with my own two hands. She is my favorite YouTuber. I've been following her journey for years. Online, she has grown so much. I'm so proud of her. She didn't even fucking know who I am. It's so funny. I make fun of myself with my friends. How we know all these people. We have parasocial relationships with these content creators who don't even know who we are. And she's like my best friend. And I haven't listened to McKenna's stuff in a while just because I've been all over the place. And her podcast episode was just about, the new year, resetting, not resolutions necessarily, but changing and working on things to better our lives for this coming year. And ew, now I'm all nasally. I'm so sorry. Ew, for real. But if you don't know who Exo McKenna is, she does home interior design. She's rebuilt this old house in Texas from the ground up. She has another place in LA where she lives that she fixes up. She's just been doing home decor for years and years, and her style is very, very, very similar to mine. We love antiquing and vintage items and character and things with story and moodiness, and she just puts so much passion and attention to detail into every single little thing that she does. And I have just like my soul, I just love her. I've watched her for years, and for the majority of my relationship with my once upon a husband, I have been following her life. And I felt like I had so many things in common with her. Her I wanted to say husband, it's not her husband, but her partner, her significant other, and her have been together since the same year that John and I were together. They grew up together. They moved into an apartment the same year that John and I did. Like, it just every step of the way in my relationship, McKenna was kind of in the same place. The only difference is that they have been together all this time and they're still not engaged. She has her own business and her own YouTube channel. They're so busy and they're just enjoying life. But they have been trying to grow a family. She's wanted kids for years. She's a few years older than me. And all of that to say is I've followed her all this time, and I was really behind on her podcast. And her recent podcast was just talking about her recent renovations and what she's up to in her projects and how she's taking a break because her body is just a little slower than what it used to be as we're getting older, yada yada. And I had a feeling like I'm very intuitive. I just knew, I just felt it, that she was keeping this big secret. And she comes out with her candle company. She made a new company, selling and making her own candles. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. I want one, but I can't afford them. So she comes out with this big secret that she's been hiding, which is her business. And I'm like, okay, I think this is just a diversion. And lo and behold, on like Christmas Eve or something, I saw a reel on Instagram. She was putting some beautiful ornaments on her fucking beautiful tree in her beautiful house with her beautiful relationship and her beautiful dog and her beautiful rug and her candle in the background. And she turns around and she has a little baby bump. And it has not hit me until right now. What is today? Today is January 14th. It's been weeks and it hasn't hit me. I've just been happy for her this whole time. Like, oh my God, I knew it. I had a feeling. And I shared that reel immediately with my friend and I. Alyssa, you guys have met her on the podcast. I think we talked about her on her episode as well. But I shared it with her and she was like, oh my God, we're so happy for her. You know, we've just been waiting for this. She's been trying for so long to get pregnant. So I'm catching up with her podcast where she announces on the podcast the news that was already shared on her vlog and on her Instagram. And I was fine the entire time. I was cutting the paint in the bathroom, you know, making that line really, really straight on the ceiling so I don't get paint up there on the ceiling. And I just hone into projects like that. The focus on some stupid mundane project like that. I was just peacefully listening to Exo McKenna. And her podcast ends, all is well. I start rolling. I take out the paint roller. I'm like, oh my God, this color of this freaking paint is gorgeous. I'm so happy. It sounds so stupid. You guys are probably laughing or crying. I'm so sorry. Either way. But if you are on YouTube at all, you know that when a video ends, the next one of your subscribers, people who you're subscribed to, starts automatically playing. And it skipped to her vlog channel, and immediately it's this vlog, and she's like in her bathroom in the middle of a project as well. She was painting or something, panicking about how she was in a room full of fumes and yada yada. And I'm like, what is she like so nervous about? So I look at the title and it's in all caps. I'm pregnant, we're having a baby, yada yada. I saw a tiny snippet of this vlog in the YouTube video of her podcast where she's like, hey, if you missed it, this was on the vlog channel. And she shows a picture of her looking at the pregnancy test. I am an emotional crybaby of a person. I would have already sobbed just being so happy for her. But I have never cried so much on someone's pregnancy announcement in my life. And ew, for real, like those of you who are out there probably going to be judging me, being like, oh my God, you're making this all about yourself. This is my podcast and I document my life, my journey, my mental health, my everything. And I'm sharing that with you because when I see other people doing the same, it makes me feel like I'm not alone. So please don't judge me for this right now. It's not about me. I wish I could send all of you guys over to her YouTube channel and congratulate this girl who has been trying and finally got pregnant at age 35. But my experience with this right now is so overwhelming, and I don't know how to share what I'm about to share. The moment of her and Romeo finding out that they're pregnant and the test saying yes, it was like a river of water just streaming from my eyes because it hit me. Since I can remember, I'm really trying not to be morbid or depressing here, okay? But since I can remember, at least 12 years old, maybe sooner, grade school for sure, I have had this really bad feeling that I'm not ever gonna have kids. I've literally said it to my friends in high school, and if any of you guys listen to this, I don't know if any of you remember this or can vouch, but I used to tell my friends, I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to have kids. I just, it's such a silly and sad thing to say, but I was never like sad about it. I feel like in high school, it finally hit me, and I would tell myself, it's okay if it never happens because all of these years that I've had a bad feeling about it, I almost feel like it's like God's way of preparing me to be able to accept it. I'm the type of person who hopes for the best and prepares for the worst so that I'm not let down. And I'm in a way grateful that I had that feeling because if I hadn't, I don't even know what I would be feeling right now because again, I'm all over the place and I'm getting to something. I promise. I'm just trying to put my thoughts together. But I've just had a really bad feeling that I'm not going to be able to have kids. And when I saw her video, it hit me and I just remembered those feelings. And then I see her and Romeo crying together. And I just always imagined one day that I would see this announcement of hers and be so happy because I would have possibly kids of my own, or I would be looking forward to having a family around the same time because we're close in age. We've been dating for the same amount of time. And she may not be like engaged or married yet, but she also doesn't know me, and I know this girl, and I feel like now I'm a step behind, which is fine. That doesn't matter. But right now, if I do the math, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. I would have a 9-month-old baby. And I did not have that experience finding out. I didn't have that happy moment that I looked forward to with my husband for years. And not even because I was like ready for kids. The more we waited, the more we were enjoying life. We were enjoying traveling. We were enjoying our house. Well, supposedly, according to him, he was miserable and hated himself and hated me for years and just didn't say it. I don't even believe a word that he says. He's just fucking saying anything to make himself feel better. But if you knew us, I thought we were in love. But while he was being not in love with me, we were constantly talking about our family and our future and our home and so many things together. I was looking forward to so many things in life that I don't feel like I'm ever gonna get. And I don't know how much detail I want to give you all on that. Uh, I don't even know where to go with this. I don't know how to form a thought right now. But seeing that video reaction of them having this beautiful, happy moment that, like, I'm literally like, I felt like I was watching myself on a camera. Not because I'm like comparing myself to her, but it was just like imagining having that moment that she was having. I wasn't jealous. I don't know how to put into words how I felt because it's not jealousy or envy. It's, I mean, maybe that's what it is, but it doesn't feel like that. I wasn't like mad at her or upset or like not happy. I was literally like crying a happy tears, like, oh my God, yes, yay, yay, my best friend's pregnant. But it was like, I just pictured that was just us. I just saw us. I couldn't unsee it. And not only that, but my relationship that I thought that I had with him was very precious, and John would have always been a good father to his children. Um, when I took in his niece that lived with us, she was around 2 years old, and I basically like was like a mother figure to her in my own home. And he would come home every day to me and Delilah, his niece, and he took such good care of me and such good care of her. And his phone was filled with pictures of me and Delilah, and he just treated me like I thought I had finally deserved, you know? And so when I see Romeo and how precious and sweet and emotional he was, like I just pictured my person. And so it was really hard to watch that, knowing that it wasn't my person, I guess. I really question what's real anymore. I don't know how much of what I had was real. And everybody tells me, Jenny, it was. It just, people change. But I've talked about this before on the podcast. I don't think people change. I don't know how long I was living in a facade because that's what John was to me. And then all of a sudden one day he just wasn't. And it really hit me. It got to me really badly tonight. I don't know if it's bitterness or anger. I think it might just be sadness. But she had never taken a pregnancy test before. She was finding out with her partner in the bathroom, and it was beautiful. And they were working so hard for this, and it was their biggest dream, and it's her biggest priority in everything in life. And that was just me. That was me. That's what I wanted, like, not right now, but maybe honestly at her age. I never wanted to, like, have kids older, later in my 30s, but that's where it was going, and I was okay with it. And we never tried, but we didn't b always be super careful. Like, we coulda probably been more careful than what we were being. It I remember thinking, "Would I really be okay if I ever got pregnant? Like, are we gonna be happy?" And we would talk, and I just remember saying, "If it happened, that's great. It's fine. I would be happy. If it doesn't happen, I think I'm happy with where I'm at." I just remember saying, We were happy with where we were at. And I don't know how you say that to somebody and then do what he did to me. That's besides the point, but I really was happy with where I was at. The only thing that I was struggling with was I feel like a lot of times I was being physically and emotionally neglected in my relationship. And I was dealing with it because that's just what you do. When you love someone and when you want to be with someone and live your life with them and you care about them, you work on things, you try to be better, you try to communicate, you make effort. And I genuinely, like, I look back and I don't remember not doing those things. I remember putting in way too much effort sometimes to where I would just push myself over the edge and go completely insane because I wasn't being heard. But then when he would apologize and make up with me, I felt seen and I felt heard and it felt genuine from him. And it's all just so confusing now. But again, that's besides the point. Totally different topic. Ill, for real. I'm just so overwhelmingly sad after seeing that. I'm literally supposed to be sitting here right now recording a podcast about my medication and my therapy. And I'm crying because McKenna's having a baby and I'm not. And it's really weird because I don't want a baby right now. It's the last thing that I need in my life. There I would the baby would starve to death. I'm sure. I don't even I live in a camper. They would sleep in the closet. I don't even know what I would do with myself. But I would have a 9-month-old baby right now. I would finally have I would have the excuse to throw the cutest birthday party for my Aries child. And I was hoping that they would be born in March so that they would be a Pisces like me. And my ex was also a Pisces. And I remember it's just like all those thoughts went through my head of all of those things that I imagined and would have given anything to feel when finding out one day that I was pregnant. And it was the most traumatizing, lonely, sad days of my life. And then losing the baby and going through that physically alone with literally nobody in the room with me by myself at my first ultrasound appointment. I know I've talked about it on here before. But around that same time that I found out it was going through this excruciatingly painful experience that now I can look back and say I'm so sorry for anybody who's lost a baby. I always felt empathy for people and would get sad and mourn with them, but you truly don't know what somebody's going through until you experience it yourself. And I'm so sorry to anybody who's ever gone through that. It's so bad. It's so bad. It was around that time that my best friend told me that I was a shitty friend and that I haven't been there for her and that I had done nothing for her in the past 6 years of our friendship. Meanwhile, she's buddy old pal being best friends with my cheating ex-husband, meeting up, having lunch dates. He's getting to see her child that I've missed dearly, and I'm alone in the tub. I know I sound like woe is me right now. But it has taken everything in my power to not disclose what I was going through because I was trying not to be selfish. And she was telling me I was a selfish friend, and I'm over here trying to be empathetic to whatever it is that she's going through, whatever she's gone through that's made things so difficult for her through this time of my husband cheating on me and going through a divorce and losing a baby alone. Like, it's so hard for me to not want to feel selfish in those moments because I'm like, you don't even know. I'm trying not to be a selfish, terrible, shitty friend, like you say. I'm trying not to say anything about what I'm going through so that I could try and reconnect and fix our friendship. And meanwhile, I'm getting no effort from there, and I'm being blocked by her husband, who was one of my best friends as well. And again, my ex comes into town and they meet up, and I'm the oddball out. I'm the one that doesn't deserve companionship and friendship from people that I've loved for half my life. I still love and I've still put effort in and would have loved to connect, but at this point, like, I have got to learn at some point when to let go. I don't know how. I don't want to lose anything else. I've lost so much already. But everybody's been hounding me on the internet for being so closed off and private. I mean, they haven't in the recent months because I think people get the point now. But they were hounding me. And this is just something that I've gone through that I can't imagine not ever sharing. It's another situation that I've gone through the most miserable 2 years of my life that has just made things much worse, which is why I'm on medication, guys. Why my sister-in-law Paige forced me to go to therapy. Force was the wrong word, but you know what I mean. I just have not been well, and I don't ever want to experience that again. I had real big boobs, but I had a lot of nausea. Sorry, I cope with humor. um, just trying to lighten the mood here a little bit after I dropped that bomb on you. But if anybody in my life who has been there for years and whom I have been there for is listening to this, and you just have not understood me, you just have not been in my shoes, which 9 out of 10 of you, my close friends, most of which I've lost, I can say have not been in my position. You don't know what it's like until you go through it yourself. And I really feel like a lot of you guys have not understood why I've been the way that I have been. I cannot believe that I am divorced from the life that I had. I can't believe it. It doesn't matter how distanced I get from it, how much I heal, how much therapy I get. I'm a fucking Pisces, okay? I live in fairy tale la la land. This is nothing that I ever freaking wanted to have a title of. And now I have lost a human being that was growing in my body. And I feel so pushed away by so many people. And I have tried, I have reached out in the ways that I could bring myself and my body and my brain to do so. And if it has not been good enough for you and you have not reached back out to me, this is the only outlet you're going to hear this on. I'm not sharing this anywhere else on the internet. And I know chismosas be chismeando, and the word is going to get out. But now you know, maybe you freaking understand. I'm not exaggerating the 2 years that I've had. I'm not exaggerating my mental state, my well-being, my heart, my soul. Quite frankly, I should not be alive right now. I don't know how I'm here. I don't know why I'm here, but I'm gonna keep going. And if nobody wants to come with me, it's fine. And I have a lot of people out here listening to this who are extremely loving and kind and supportive. And I appreciate you guys to the ends of the earth. But I hope you know that when I say these things like, oh, I have no one, blah, 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 I'm talking about those people in my life that I thought were going to be there forever. My close circle of friends that I've lost. I have a completely different circle, and I would give my life for them. You know who you are. I could list your names right now on my one hand, and I love you all to freaking death. But I'm talking to the people who have literally abandoned me as a friend, abandoned my love, abandoned my sacrifices, abandoned the effort and the attention to detail and the passion and the care and the empathy that I have given to you and poured into you for those people to turn around in the worst freaking years of my life and say that I've done nothing for you. I'm picturing myself with my hair on fire right now. It infuriates me. And I am not going to let it take over my life and make me bitter. I'm just putting this out there so that you know. I've heard around the little, whatever the hell the saying is, beating around the bush. I don't know. Your little mouths running are very hurtful because I am not being dramatic. No, I'm not a drama queen. No, I'm not blowing things out of proportion. A divorce from my high school sweetheart after 13 years, thinking that everything was good between us, and then going through an affair and a divorce and court and losing a baby by myself and losing friends and losing family and losing my house and losing pets and losing everything that I own and having to sell all my belongings and living on the road. Yes, my choice, but because of circumstances that I did not ask for. No, I'm not a drama queen for that, for acting the way that I have been acting the past 2 years. I don't even know why I'm saying any of this right now. You guys don't even deserve any of this. But I had to get it out there. I just don't even know what to do or say at this point, but my God, was I not expecting that freaking McKenna video to push me over the edge tonight. Oh my gosh, and then I got to the portion of her the portion of her telling her mom. It was so beautiful. And I've had so many plans my whole life of how I was going to announce our baby. And now I don't want it. I don't want that like life that I was supposed to have with someone else. Not because I'm like, oh, I want to be with him. I want to be. No, it's just like, I just want a different life with someone different who's going to treat me differently. And I can have different dreams. But I don't want that life anymore. And seeing McKenna show her, like, it's too late. It's been done. I had my fairy tale relationship. I had true love, or what I thought was true love. I had the house, I had the marriage, I had the business. I was literally living my dream and working towards making my dream better and healthier and happier. And I don't have that anymore. I already lost my chance for announcing my first pregnancy to my mom. Instead, she found out in a horribly traumatic way for her too. She looked at an ultrasound and probably thought, oh my God, Jenny's pregnant. But then I had to break the news to her, no, this is my ultrasound of the baby that I don't have. I spiraled and I was by myself and I didn't tell anyone what I was going through because I didn't even want to be excited about it at the time. But all this time, I thought there was something wrong with me. Even though we were trying, I was never like, oh my gosh, I want a baby now. Let's try. We're ready. We never were in that phase. But I, like, not using protection or anything for 13 years and nothing ever happening. And then thinking back to my childhood of this weird feeling that I'm never going to be able to have kids. And it just didn't happen for 13 years. I thought something was wrong with me. I thought my body wasn't capable. I thought it was like the one thing, the one area in my life, like even physically, that I was incapable of doing. I was out of control. I thought there was something wrong with me, and there's not something wrong with me. So I can have babies. I'm just so upset that, like, now I don't want to after experiencing all of that. I don't. And I really hope if whatever happens in the future, I don't know what's going to happen, but if I ever have children in the future, whoever is listening to this, I want you to know I do not mean I don't want my child if I have a child. I'm not saying that I don't want that kid. I don't want, like, that I'm going to regret a pregnancy if I am lucky enough to experience that. And everybody knows me. Like, all my friends and family know that, like, I'm like a big weirdo right now. I don't want to be a mom. I can't handle motherhood right now. I'm lost in this world, but I have wanted to for years experience pregnancy. Like, I don't want to start having kids yet. That doesn't mean I don't want my future child if I have one. But, like, I just really want to experience pregnancy and just the beauty of what my body can do, that now I know that my body can do. Now that I know that I'm capable of something like that, it just made me want to, like, continue experiencing more. And people are like, oh, childbirth and labor. No, I literally I would give anything right now to experience that. I am so strong and I'm so powerful, and I know that I would be a freaking badass in pregnancy and in labor. And it's just been always a dream of mine. I want a water birth. Random information for you to know. I want an at-home water birth. And nobody's freaking labor plans go as they expect. We all know this. But I just can't believe that after all these years and everything that I went through and everything that happened with John and I, now in my life is when I find out there's nothing wrong with me. Nothing's my fault. Honestly, there's probably something wrong with him. Good luck to him and his new fling. Hope that goes well. That sounds terrible of me to say, but whatever. He's done and said a lot worse, which I'm sure you guys will hear eventually. So, this is ill for real. We're going to get deep. But I'm just, it blows my mind that I'm capable, you know? It's been done. I lost it. I lost that. And trust me, for those of you, like, screaming at me through the screen right now, I know I can still have that. I know that someone out there is going to treat me better, you say. I know that I can adopt. I know that I can still have kids. I know that I can still make I don't even desire it anymore. I am so exhausted from what I've gone through the past 2 years with my beautiful, loving friends and family by my side while I watch a handful of people walk away. I lost it. I don't want it. I don't even know what I want at this point as far as the future. I don't see when I look into the future. I used to picture a beautiful house in the middle of nowhere with 2 to 4 little kids running around in my beautiful, happy marriage. I don't picture that anymore. I don't want that. I don't know what I want because none of it feels real. I feel like I'm living a dream. No, a nightmare. And I don't want to put myself through all of the wishing and hoping and praying and being a hopeless romantic just to be let down again. And I know that I shouldn't oh look, I'm just gonna manifest that or whatever. I don't know what else to tell you right now. I just genuinely don't want that. I just want to live my life and be in my stupid camper. And not stupid. I'm so sorry, Pearl. I love you so much. I rebuilt you from the ground up, so don't even start with me. I just got so sad watching that. And I'm so freaking happy for her. And I just literally watched my life flash before my eyes. I am jealous, I am going to say, about when she was able to surprise her mom. It's literally, it has been a dream of mine to, despite my thoughts as a little girl, be able to surprise my mom with her first grandkid. But my sister had a baby before me, so with my first child. And instead, it was just a sad experience. And I'm just so tired of having sad life milestones. I'm just so tired of it. I am trying so hard to manifest better things for myself. And I do think that better things are coming. I just need a different dream, and I don't know exactly what it is. But I wanted to disclose some things that I've been through so that those of you who feel alone or who have experienced that and feel like you have people in your life who have not gone through that and they don't know the physical pain and the physical hurt, the emotional pain, the mental toll. At least you know that there's someone here talking about it that does know what that's like. And I'm so sorry, I feel for you. But also, I wanted to share with those of you who this is how you keep up with me and you didn't know why I've been the way that I've been. And I truly have had so many people close to me, so frustrated and upset. Well, Jenny, you don't answer anybody back. You don't text anyone and you don't show up to this and answer phone calls or whatever. I'm like, I'm sorry. Literally 95% of the time, I'm dying in a bed somewhere. I, hoping for it to pass because it's just how I've always dealt with depression. It just passes, but this time it has not passed, which is why I'm now on medication and it is helping me get through these low points. So I'm getting better, and me sharing this information with the freaking internet is proof that I'm trying and I'm getting better. I have to let this stuff out. I can't just keep it in. It's not who I am. And if I was with a partner who valued me in a way that made me feel so safe and comfortable sharing things with them and them alone, my whole life would be private. I wouldn't share a single freaking thing on the internet anymore. But I need someone to talk to. And therapy is fine. but I have no connection to this therapist, which you guys hopefully just heard about because I'm supposed to record an episode about my thoughts on therapy thus far. But it's just not the same. And I feel like there's so many of you out there who listen to me. You send me messages. And again, I'm so sorry. I don't respond to all of them. I can't respond to all of them. And even if I did, I would literally have less mental energy than what I have now. So please forgive me if I have not responded to your message yet online. I see you. I see you. And I hear you. And I love you so much. But just being able to talk like this, knowing that you're hearing me and then not getting a response, like I'm fine with it. And then you message me and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, there's my response. And then hopefully you're okay with it. And the next time I podcast, I talk about your responses. And like, I don't know, hopefully this feels like a family, a communication. I don't know. But you people on the internet are so freaking kind. You're literally the nicest people to me ever. It's wild. Throwback to my freaking Disney parody. The first one I ever wrote was about meeting friends online that are there for you more than some of your own friends and family are. You guys have just, and I really hope that if there's someone out there that's listening to this that has in ways cut me off, like I'm not trying to offend you or hurt you or embarrass you or push you away or anything. I'm just being like transparent. I'm honestly not mad. I'm a very patient and forgiving person. If that friend of mine who said those things to me were to reach out to me right now, I would literally drive all the way to Indiana and drop things at the drop of a hat for them. And I'm sure that they know that. And I'm sure that you guys who don't even know me in person know that. So this is just my way of getting things out. And sometimes I sound a little aggressy depressy because it's very frustrating. It's just very frustrating. And I don't want this reaction at all, but parts of me, like the selfish part of me, I'm not always selfish like with people in person, but like deep down, there's this selfish part of Jenny that's like, I hope that you are saying in your head, no wonder. Oh my God, no wonder. It all makes sense. Oh my God. Oh, well, that's why she hasn't texted me back. But I have texted you back. I know I've texted you and reached out and commented on a Facebook post or whatever. Like, I know I have because I'm coming out of it. I'm just really sad about when I was going through it. A lot of you guys just left me there. And so here we are. McKenna McKenna sent me in a spiral. It was an upward spiral because I was just overjoyed for her, and a real downward spiral, but hopefully I'm spiraling just outwards in a plateau now. And I can move forward and upward from here. And if you're going through anything of the sorts along these same lines, I hope you can find that upward spiral as well soon. And I really hope you know that you're not alone. Having this podcast and talking to you guys gives me some sort of peace knowing that I'm not alone, even though I feel really lonely sometimes. But it's okay. I have my people and I'm going to reach out to them and I want to be there for them and I want to talk to them and I want to keep growing and being a better friend and a better human and a better family member, hopefully. I'm not perfect though, so please be patient with me. I love you. Thank you for being here. And as always, please don't forget to love yourself. And then I said bye.